LalaTV for IWFCIM. Today we have a special guest, and her name is Ciinndey Wong. Ciinndey literally built Rhymba Hills, and honestly speaking, her passion, her love of the product is really inspiring. If you are into anything that is non-caffeinated, natural, no sugar, this is definitely the segment you want to watch. She shares a little bit about how she started with it and also the current issues that she faced in the market. Being a product that is quite niche in some sense does have its pros and cons. So I do hope you enjoyed this segment. Hey everybody, we're back for another segment of LalaTV, and today we have a very, very special guest. Her name is Ciinndey, and she, from what I hear, is a very, very interesting person, not just because of the background, but because of the fact that she deals with tea. I'm a coffee person. Who knows, she might convert me to tea after this interview. We'll just see how that one goes. I'm going to bring her into our screen right now. Hi, Ciinndey.
Hi everyone, I'm Ciinndey Wong.
Hi, it's so great to have you. So, I want to know everything about you first before I go into tea, because tea is something that has a lot of emotion. You know, coffee is coffee. You will have different type of teas, whatever it may be. But tea is a very refined art. It's been in many generations. So maybe tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, or anything you want to share with the team.
Sure. Thanks so much, Lala, for this opportunity. Look forward to sharing with everyone what is tea about. But technically, what we are doing, Rhymba Hills, we are actually not doing tea, because all tea contains caffeine. It comes from this family called Camellia sinensis. So all your black tea, your oolong, your green tea, all comes from that family. But ours, it doesn't come from that. So it's like technically it should be called infusion artisans, meaning anything apart from the Camellia sinensis family. So your important examples would be like your peppermint, your lavender, your chamomile. So the local examples would be like the lemongrass, pandan, beckham, ginger. So my background is in my previous life I was actually a bean counter. So very boring, very stressful. That's why I'm no longer doing that.
There you go.
And
heard it.
Yes. And now after that, this 8 years ago, I founded Ladang Sari International, where we actually supplied Rhymba Hills tea. So how did that journey started was because in my past life, because of the work nature, I was actually very, very stressed out, and then I'm an emotional eater. So supper almost 3 days a week. You have my char kway teow, my Hokkien mee, my roti canai, so and then fast food. And obviously, I'll put on weight. So I ballooned so much. I think about 3 times my current size. Then after that, this went on for a few years, and I realized it shouldn't be happening lah. Meaning, I was big, and then I couldn't find clothes that can fit, and my self-esteem went down, and I wasn't having fun in my previous life. So I told myself, I can't do this. I don't see this moving forward. So I decided to lose the weight. But how? So I searched, because I wanted it to be natural. So I stumbled upon tisanes, lemongrass, and Mr. Kuching, and I started to consume, change my lifestyle, started exercising, cut off fast food, cut off supper, cut off sweet drinks, and within 9 months I lost 18 kg. So when I achieved the results, I actually look at the market. It's like, okay, I actually love the taste of lemongrass, but I can't actually find it. Meaning, you go to any cafe, you go to supermarkets, you see lots of chamomile, lots of peppermint, lots of lavender. You hardly see any local ingredients. So after that, I told myself, it's like, wow, there's a gap in the market. So why not do something about it? And that's how the journey started. I actually started from home. Yeah.
There you go. I mean, everything great starts from something that you're very passionate about, right? And it's a Malaysian indulgence to eat, and it's really hard to avoid it. And going through all of that, right? Going into a new venture such as that, what was it like for you? You know, we all probably in some point in our lifetime were thinking, I really wish there was something for me, but not everyone would just say, I'll do it. You know, like you mentioned, you saw the market, you saw all of that, but what really made you want to take that leap of faith?
Actually, my ambition was, when I was growing up, I wanted to be a doctor. but my grades didn't pass. So
Okay.
you need to be like almost perfect 4.0
Correct.
GPA.
Science,
So
extra.
my grades are not there at all. So, but I was actually still very interested in health and wellness. And since this opportunity came along, why not? So, in a way, it's like a full circle that I'm actually going back to my ambition. So that is where I decided, okay, I actually enjoy all this caffeine free because I can't take caffeine. My cutoff time for caffeine is actually 12 noon, so no coffee, no green tea for me. So after that, it has to be juice or just warm water. So because so I believe in only doing things that I truly believe in that I'll consume, and I figured out why not. It's like I think it jives, and I think this actually will work out. That's why like what they always advise entrepreneurs is just do it. I mean, you don't prepare your parachute before jumping. You just jump first, and then you open your parachute when you're falling down. The saying. So
Yep.
do it off.
That's an interesting. That's a really interesting take, but it's one that takes a lot of courage. And it comes to this crossroads where people always say like, because even in LalaTV we've met a lot of people, studied one thing, did another. So we do cater to a lot of younger audiences who sometimes watch the channel. What do you feel about having a degree in a particular field but being passionate about something else? What should they do when they're in that kind of crossroads?
I think it's still relevant to have a formal education. Why? It's because formal education will give you a framework, methodology, and structure on how to think. But in terms of the field, I think it's not important. Why? It's because especially now things change so fast. What you studied last year, it may not be relevant today. I mean, bits of business, yes, but not the whole thing. And everything is searchable online. You can learn almost everything online. It's just that how to perfect what you're learning is you just have to do it, learning on the job. So I will still advocate young people get education. It's still relevant. Yeah.
For sure. That's true. I mean, we've all had to be disciplined about studies or making deadlines, which never change regardless of the industry. And going back to knowledge base and understanding that part, when you ventured out into this industry, right? I'm sure you had to learn a lot of things on the cuffs. I don't think there's a guide for anything like this. So what would you tell your younger self what you know now?
I will tell my younger self that believe that I have access to all the resources. I just need to be creative and ask, and I believe in asking a bit. You will receive. You just need to be resourceful, because I think there's this saying, 3 connections away or something like that. It's like whatever you want, you're just 3 connections away from what you want. So be courageous and also be humble at the same time to actually ask for help. And also doing business and being an entrepreneur is actually a journey. So it's like a marathon, it's not a sprint. So you need to be very patient and trust the process. It's like there's no such thing as shortcut, and shortcuts don't work. Yeah, I mean, what goes up fast, it will also come down fast. So that is what I will tell my younger self. Because when you're young, you think that you're invincible. Everything can. Yes, everything can. But sometimes you also hit the wall. So when you hit the wall, just tell yourself, be patient. It's like just dust yourself off and stand up again, and then just continue walking. Yeah, because I also believe that if you don't hit the wall often enough, it means also you're not trying hard enough.
True, definitely. Whatever makes us uncomfortable usually ends up making us know or learn something about ourselves internally as well.
Yes.
Speaking of that, because it's literally a marathon when you're running a business, especially at a scale that you're running it.
Yes.
What is the toughest part about this field, and what would you advise new entrepreneurs who are looking at doing something similar? Because for your field, it's not just about finding the right product, but it's also understanding what needs to go where, because what the market wants, what the market needs. So what's the toughest part about that?
The toughest part is our brand Rhymba Hills. Not too sure whether the community has seen this. This is our brand. So the toughest part is we are still very unknown compared to the big boys. So although we have been in the supermarkets for more than 3 years now, the major brands, people don't see us. Why? It's because consumer behavior is such that when they go to the supermarket aisles, they'll just pick up what they used to pick up. Meaning they just focus, they just zoom in on that the brands that they are used to. So other brands they don't see. So that is the toughest part, that to let people know that we are around, and also to continue to educate people that Malaysia we actually a lot of beautiful ingredients like lemongrass, pandan, kaffir lambe. Because a lot of people when it comes to when they think about having good night's sleep, everyone thinks about chamomile because it's that so well ingrained to many people. But chamomile is important. Malaysia we also have good ingredients like lemongrass. Why? It's because that, for example, when you go to the spa after your massage, they'll always give you a lemongrass or a mixture of lemongrass and pandan. So that is for relaxing. So to answer your question is that to continue to educate people, to continue to shout out our brand. Yeah, remember Rhymba Hills. So it's that it's always about continuous marketing and continuous education.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree. I think in Malaysia, because we were so very attuned with a lot of Western culture, and then when I was young, I grew up with like lavender is good for you, or this is good for you, but you have other alternatives, which I think companies really need to learn to touch base with. And I know that the younger generation are more aligned to it, because this whole new health movement, even in the US, suddenly you have like turmeric being a main ingredient, pandan being something that's talked about. So in terms of that, do you have any marketing strategy you can share, or what kind of marketing platforms do you actually use to get Rhymba Hills into the hands of your consumers?
Our current marketing strategy is to collaborate with other brands who also share the same target market as us. And also when we get opportunities to be interviewed to go online like LalaTV, we will most of the time accept it depending on our schedule, because sometimes the schedule just doesn't permit, and then if the other party actually allows us to can accommodate our time, then yes, we will definitely accept it. So it's always about putting our name and brand out there, and also doing sampling, because food and beverage is all about taste. People one of the things that that day someone told me is they've actually noticed our brand before, but because they don't know what it tastes like, they don't dare to purchase. So we need to do more sampling to actually let people try our taste, then they'll be more confident to actually purchase it.
For sure. Humans of this generation, it's like anything free, whether they like it or not, they're just gonna try it.
Correct.
So are you currently available in physical stores? Maybe you can share to our viewers, like, where can they actually purchase your products? Is it online, offline?
Yes, sure. It's both online and offline. So offline will be in the famous markets like Village Grocer, Jaya Grocer, Big. Then after that, online will be our website, Lazada, Shopee, MH Temptations, which is owned by Malaysia Airlines. We are actually at Grab. We are actually, I think online we've covered all the major bases.
There you go.
And we're also supplying to cafes, hotels, gift suppliers, fitness, spas.
Very nice. Speaking of which, because you are quite heavy on online, which is great, it's amazing, but have you actually seen a change in these past few years in terms of consumer behavior? Because ever since the pandemic, I do notice myself going more to online than I do offline as before. Like if I want to go offline, it's really for like those really raw materials, like your fish, your chicken, or anything like that. But whatever I can do online, I usually lean towards that. So I'm just wondering whether for a business like yours, did you actually see that firsthand, the change of consumer behavior and buying areas?
I think because our product is actually not defined as a necessity, it's more of a very niche. So our customers somehow they actually still prefer to buy offline. Why? It's because they actually said they don't want to wait for so many days. They just, when they go grocery shopping, they just pick
Pick
it
it
up.
up and go. Yeah.
Yeah, because the issue now with online is the last mile issue, where because of the labor crunch, sometimes takes quite a long time for the customers to actually get the product. So in terms of whether after MCO, whether our demand for online actually pick up, it's actually still the same, but it's more the retail that actually pick up a bit more, the offline retail.
Very interesting. That's an interesting case study on that, because
Yes.
we did speak to some other IWFCIM ladies who have done both online and offline.
Yes.
Some actually lean towards
Yes.
online. So it really does depend on the product
Correct.
and
Exactly.
your
It
market
depends
as
on
well,
the
right?
product.
For
Yeah.
sure. All right, so maybe you could tell us a little bit about the vision of the company with them.
Okay. Yes. The vision of the company is since now that we are actually of international ranking, in the sense that last year we received an award from Paris. We got a few awards from there. So we know that our product and our brand and our quality is actually international level. So the vision is really to put Rhymba Hills to represent Malaysia on the gastronomy map. So the vision is to actually put the word out there, so that eventually when people think of tisans or caffeine-free tea, people will think about Rhymba Hills. So to really go out and actually to reach out to more people. Because currently, if you actually look at other tea brands in the market, they don't focus on caffeine-free. They actually have a mixture of black tea, which has caffeine, and our kind of tea. So, but for us, that's our focus to really go in on only caffeine-free.
There you go, caffeine free. So all you
Yes.
guys who are afraid of caffeine, because I do know some people who try to avoid it like a
Yes.
plague, would definitely be interested in something like this.
Yes,
And
yes.
you know, when it comes to tea, there's many things and many forms you can use tea. You can use it as, of course, beverage, but there are also people who use it for cooking, for other things, for medicinal purposes. So what exactly do you see the end goal for Rhymba Hills? Because I don't think it's just going to be beverage for you, right? It's going to be more than that.
Yes. Good point that you brought up. We actually are launching our new chocolate infused coconut for Christmas. Yeah. And
What is that?
and we used dark chocolate.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's not sweet at all. It has a bit of salty flavor, because the coconut that you use is actually roasted coconut, so it tastes amazing. Yeah, so we are launching it for Christmas, and then moving forward, we will actually do more promotion on that, because everyone has this connotation that chocolate is fattening. Actually, it's not. If you actually pick dark chocolate, yeah.
Correct.
So,
Correct. It's
yes,
actually good
that-
for your health.
Yes, correct. I mean, cacao is actually good for health. So our new blend is actually cacao with coconut. So it's actually drinking it. It tastes like chocolate, but without the calories and without the guilt.
No way.
Yes.
That's so interesting. So you brew it like how you usually brew tea, or how does that
Exactly.
work?
Yeah, correct. Because we use cacao nibs. How you get chocolate is by processing cacao nibs and cacao husk and milk in there. That's how you get that chocolate. Yeah. So cacao tea is actually without the milk,
Wow.
but
There
it
you
is
go.
heavily. Yeah.
I'm really curious about that, because I'm a fan of flavored tea. So I love. So you go to Japanese restaurants, you have this nice fragrant tea, it's great. But I remember as a child, there was this one caramel tea that I'm not sure which brand, but it always brings back those memories. So when you talk about chocolate and stuff like this, it's definitely going to make people remember your brand because of how unique it is.
Correct.
Totally
correct.
unique. And
Yes, it is.
when you talk about it, it seems to me like you're always constantly thinking of new ways or new things or new flavors.
Yes.
Isn't that exhausting? And what keeps you going?
It is not exhausting, because I find it interesting that like what Steve Jobs said, the late Steve Jobs said, consumers actually do not know what they want until you create something and show it to them. This is amazing. Then they taste it. Yeah, it is amazing. So
That's true.
that's why pre MCO I travel a lot around the world to attend expos all over in the US, in Germany, in Dubai, to get a flavor from taste all over the world. And then what I do is actually will localize the taste, because why? Rhymba is all about making it local. So we'll get the local ingredients to mimic the taste that is flavorful from overseas. Yeah, and that's the thing. Also, the perception of getting customers to try. It's like because the thing is, because our tea is actually 100% natural, no sugar, no additive flavoring. So when customers, they're so used to flavoring, when they hear that ours is without flavoring, they'll be thinking, sure, not nice one. So when they give them the
Tasteless
sample,
and all that.
they're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
wow, this is good. I said, yes, it's good, and it's 100% natural.
There you
So
go.
the thing is, like, I should actually video it the next time. Yeah, when we have all these exhibitions.
Yeah, for
When our
sure.
last exhibition was KLCC, so many customers, they were so surprised. Wow, this is so good. Yes,
Yeah.
it is, of course, good. Yeah.
I think that's the barrier that we always put ourselves through. If it's less sugar or low fat, it's gonna be less flavorful, or it
Yes,
just doesn't taste like the real thing. When
right,
this way of doing things that are better and healthier, it's just that they
correct.
need to take, like you said, take a step forward and try it out. But when it comes
Yes,
to
yeah.
choosing flavors, do you actually have a group of people to test the flavors, to vote on the flavors? Like, how is that process like?
So what we do is we have our customer database. So whenever we actually want to taste a flavor, we'll just ask their permission whether they actually want to be part of the focus group to get the feedback. Then we'll actually launch it. Yeah, because we've been around for 8 years, so we actually have our database of customers, our customers who actually love our brand. Yeah,
Oh, that's sweet. That's really a good touch. I think sometimes we build things or we make things and we don't really take a step back to
yeah,
ask,
yeah.
the real person who's going to be using it.
Correct, correct.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So, it's been a journey for you, I'm sure, going into a new field, finding the right partner, finding the right sources and things like that. What would you have done differently if you could change anything?
What would I have done differently is to tell myself that, in the business world, don't take things personally. Yeah, sometimes it happens. Yeah, I mean, now I'm still learning. Yeah, and it's still when it comes to dealing with the team, to actually, to spend more time with each person to get to know them better. So that is something that if you ask me if I can turn back time, that would be something that I will tell myself. Yeah,
Oh.
but it's always ever learning process, ever learning journey. So yeah, I mean, and also I am a strong believer of things happen for a reason. So trust the journey, and eventually it'll all work out. It's just that have to be patient enough.
Totally agree with that one because, as much as we try to change things, we learn things in the things that we've done, and learning is a process. I don't think we ever will stop learning, especially in your field and your line of work. There's no such thing as I've known or learned everything. There's no way that's possible.
Correct, correct.
In terms of, because you mentioned you have a team, how many people do you have in your team, and what is it like, spearheading your goals and your timelines with a group of people?
Okay. We are running a very lean organization, so we actually have more part-timers. Why? It's because during the pandemic, we've learned to keep things lean. So, what is it like to spearhead is need to really, really always communicate, because when I communicate something, it's my understanding. So I need to ensure that the team actually understands what is the gist of the communication. So that is still something that I'm trying to learn. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I see the big picture, whereas they only see the bits and pieces. So I will always need to communicate the whys and how to.
Totally understand that part. So now I'm going to take it from a different point of view, because all of us kind of have juniors that we have to guide, we have to mentor. And I noticed that a lot of the younger generation, when they come into the workforce, usually there are two different types. There are the ones that would be very quiet, and then there are the ones that would be very vocal. As a person who is looking for talent, right? What would you advise somebody that is just starting off work? Should they be more vocal? Should they actually take the initiative to do things? But bear in mind, they may not know everything. And what is that sweet spot for them?
I think that's a very tough question because, like there's this saying, what culture is strategy for breakfast?
Yep.
So I think fitting in is actually the most important because you can have a superstar in the organization, but if the superstar doesn't fit in the organization, it will just that will be the weakest link in the organization. Yeah, so I think it's all about fitting in. Yeah, so if the person is actually looking for talent, I think it's more of the chemistry. Of course, it's the attitude of a can do, but if the chemistry doesn't work, meaning it just the culture just doesn't fit. I think in
It's
the
tough,
long
right?
run, it's very tough, very tiring for everyone. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, if you can't have the same passions and you don't, or you're not able to actually kind of second guess your colleague, it's a bit
Yes.
difficult. Because I noticed
Yes.
like the
Exactly.
best teams will, like you said, communication is key, but at the same time, if you're really aligned with your team members, there will be things that they could make a call for without having to
Yes,
micromanage.
exactly, exactly. Talking about that, Lala, is also I've also learned to really really entrust team member to have ownership, and
Yep.
when they have ownership, they actually will be more proud that they make the right decision, and with that they will allow them to actually also grow in terms of their self confidence. So I think that is something that we entrepreneurs and business owners we need to learn better because it's always about fear of delegating what if they don't do the right job, but I think that is something that we business owners have to learn to slowly entrust them and give them ownership.
Yes, empowerment. Empowerment is
Yes.
key to a lot of things.
Yes.
For sure. Okay, so I have another question because I
Sure.
did notice on your website that you do have a lot of nonprofit organizations that you work with.
Yes.
So, what would you like the community to help you help them with?
I will actually the reason why I actually shout out that we are actually impacting NGOs and local communities is because we like to actually communicate to other business owners and organizations that business is actually we are taking from the community. So like everything is a cycle, life is a cycle, to also eventually give back. Why? It's because if there's no community to support us, that's that we won't be around. And I also believe that if you have it, you can give it away. You can only give something that you have it. Yeah. So and I believe about everything being a cycle. So I hope with this more organization will actually give back because I also know of organization they don't believe in it.
Yeah.
So that is to me something that I hope they can change their mind eventually.
It's a bit unfortunate because, yeah, I mean, there are a few sayings that, whatever that you get, there's somebody else that should benefit from it. I think
Right.
that is how things should work. I don't
Yeah.
know whether that was how it was traditionally, but the future generation, I hope, know that they need to help everybody, regardless. You could be a millionaire or you could be whoever, but you still have to contribute to those that matter. In terms of the organizations that you're helping, could you share a little bit about what you do or how do you work with them?
Okay, so that's one which we are very passionate about. It's called the Dignity. They focus on education in Sentul. So what do they do is they actually give uh, full-fledged education. Full-fledged meaning IGSCSE education to the unfortunate families surrounding there, the children, and also some children who actually do not have proper education background. So they actually have their formal education. They have woodworks. They have tailoring, hair cutting, and also sewing. Why? And also there's a cafe. Why? It's because they believe that not everyone will actually fall into the formal education, meaning some people they're just not gifted that way. So for those children who are actually not gifted that way, they can actually do vocational. And all these children, because they are so hands-on, they're so experienced, when they actually join the workforce, they are actually fully employable and they are much better compared to children from well-to-do families.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really sweet.
So and they are doing a fantastic job. So they've been around for more than 10 years. So I really really applaud the people behind it because they are doing such a tireless job. It's really not easy because raising funds is actually a never-ending process. It's just there's never enough funds, and then all these children, can you imagine they don't have actually food to eat? What about education? So how we are actually involved is a part of this process of the sales of Rhymba Hills tea. We actually will channel to them.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, there are many different forms of education. There are many different forms of skills and talents,
Correct.
and it's great that they focus
Correct.
on the less than normal ones
Correct.
that are out
Correct.
there.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so I'm just gonna give you the whole showtime right now. I'm gonna let you have the floor and share whatever you want to share with anyone who's watching.
In the retail, there's a lot of Christmas gifts available, but these days, especially after MCO, people are actually having anxiety to meet up. So we actually want to encourage people to personalize their gifts rather than just grabbing something off the shelf. So we have actually come up where we actually engrave the box with the name of the recipient, and inside it we have one of the tea boxes. So if you want to actually have more information, head up to our website, rymbahillstea.com. Rhymba Hills as in RHYMBA, Hills, HILS, T.com. With that, I would actually like to thank LalaTV for this opportunity. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and my message to all is stay healthy, stay safe, and drink Rhymba Hills, and please share Rhymba Hills with everyone that you know. Alright, thank you so much.
There you go. Thank you so much, Ciinndey, for taking the time with us, and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week ahead.
You too, Lala. Alright.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
See you guys
you.
next
Alright.
time.
Alright, have a good day.